number 2. Now, a couple of things here. A lot of the wrestling community panned this match from the jump. Maybe it's still getting panned by the majority of the wrestling community. But I couldn't give two shits about anybody else in this community when it comes to these two. Because after last night, I'm invested now. Because Pat McAfee cut a better heel promo last night than 90% of the heel wrestlers today. Shit, better than 80% of wrestlers as a total. Pat McAfee was better in the promo department last night. Pat McAfee! Mr. NFL dude! Mr. Podcaster! He comes in last night to NXT. To the NXT Arena is what they're calling it now that WWE has moved into the Amway Center and they're now the Thunderdome. Now this is the NXT Arena, the Performance Center. So, this is what we did. We had Pat McAfee come in and show everybody how it's done. Pat McAfee comes in and he exposes everybody in professional wrestling for being a weak, poor-ass promo. Because that's just what happened. That's just one early Pat McAfee promo. Could you imagine if this guy was doing it for months, fucking years? Pat McAfee you'd be hanging on every fucking word. This is a guy who just has it, the gift of gab, and he knows what he's talking about, and he's going to captivate you through his fucking words. I would not be shocked if this Saturday night we're talking about a damn good Adam Cole McAfee match. Not saying it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be shocked. Those were the words that the Amplified Man uttered just 2 days ago for the NXT Takeover 30 go-home show review. Just 2 days ago. And it seemed like I was the only one in this community that wasn't totally panning, wasn't totally bashing McAfee versus Cole. Everybody else never gave this thing a chance. How dare they put McAfee in there with Cole. Cole deserves better. McAfee's gonna stink the joint up. And then there was the Amplified Man. And you see that promo that he cut this past Wednesday, and you're thinking, there's more to this kid. There's a little bit of that it factor in this kid. If he's got it in the mic work, why do we not give him the benefit of the doubt? We know he's got some wrestling training. We know he's been working hard at this match with Adam Cole. Why not give it a chance? But everybody's panning it and bashing it. It's just a bad idea, BC. But I failed to see the bad idea. As the shows kept going on in the weeks past, and I'm hearing McAfee's promo work, I'm thinking to myself, maybe we should give them the benefit of the doubt. Why not? Maybe this is going to be a good match. Seemed like I was the only one saying that in the build-up. Everybody else in this community were bashing this thing on the build-up, right? It's a bad idea. It's bullshit. Shouldn't be happening. When it was all said and done, yet again, I don't want to pat myself on the back. I don't want to do 3 cheers for the Amplified Man. I don't want everybody to say, BC, you were right again, man. But at this point, you gotta give the pats on the back. It's gotta be 3 cheers for BC. And we all have to say yet again, BC, you were right again, man. We should have gave it a benefit of the doubt. We should have gave it a chance, because when it was all said and done, BC, the only one in the community, BC, you, the whole time, said you wouldn't be shocked that it's going to be a good match. At what point are people gonna stop and say, this motherfucker knows what he's talking about? Yeah, I do. I just wish the powers that be understood that, and we could start making some real changes with Raw, real changes with SmackDown. But I'll start with the wrestling world, understanding that my words are genuine. I don't watch a show just to bash it. Just like I don't watch a show thinking everything is milk and cookies, rainbows and shooting stars. Because the truth is, a lot of these shows, they're not all hunky-dory. They're packed with a punch that hits harder than any NyQuil could ever dream of. And if you're not careful, wham, they'll put you to sleep. NXT over the years has at least been consistent. Last night's takeover,
Pat McAfee, Adam Cole, that is just one matchup that is being talked about this morning. But Io Shirai and Dakota Kai, though it started off very slow, ended up very solid. And then, of course, Karrion Kross and Keith Lee. If you're telling me that that was not a shock title win, you're fooling yourself, nobody else. Keith Lee is not only a big boy, but Keith Lee just got that championship last month, I believe early July, at Great American Bash Night 2. Correct? A recent champion. You can't have Keith Lee, of all people, that motherfucker who could be a superstar bona fide, legit, right now on the main roster. You cannot have Keith Lee be what is known as a transitional champion, can you? That's when you're just occupying that championship for a short amount of time to get it to the next title holder. What Sasha Banks has, unfortunately and tragically, become over on the main roster. Keith Lee is not going to be that type of champ, right? But he was. Karrion Kross defeated Keith Lee. That is what you call a shock title win. I thought for sure they were going to pull some type of finish that was going to protect Karrion Kross, but no way Keith Lee, after just 1 month, is going to drop the title. No way. And it can be done with somebody like Karrion, right? You look at Lance Archer when he first got to AEW. One of his first big matches, the first big match, was with Cody. He didn't walk away with that championship. But Lance Archer's fine. I'm loving his backstage segments right now in AEW. Terrorizing the fucking locker room? They're building that motherfucker right back where he should be. No harm, no foul. And I was interested when he didn't take that title from Cody. How are they gonna build him afterwards? He's fine. Lance Archer can still be the dominant beast he was intended to be. Same with Kross. But you don't take the title off of Lee, do you? And I love the thought, the concept of Karrion Kross with the championship. But isn't it too soon? You can't do Keith Lee dirty, can ya? Karrion can be saved. What the fuck do you do with Keith Lee? But when it was all said and done, that was just half of the discussion, right? Triple H comes on a conference call just minutes after TakeOver goes off the air, and he says Karrion Kross has suffered a massive shoulder injury. Massive because it could be a separated shoulder, guys. That's pretty massive. That usually means surgery, or you're fucking gone for several months, if not either way. That's a massive shoulder injury. The fact that they're even talking MRI, the thought that the initial report from the doctor is that it's a separated shoulder tells you Karrion Kross is losing that title as soon as right now. Plans are being made to vacate that championship this Wednesday for NXT and USA. Don't be shocked if that title is being stripped off of Karrion Kross. This reminds you of something familiar. The same exact weekend, SummerSlam weekend 4 years ago, I believe anyway, 2016 I want to say. Hard to believe Finn Balor has been on the main roster that many years. But I believe, top of my dome piece, I believe it's 2016. SummerSlam weekend. And Finn Balor, the Demon, I believe he was, in the Demon character, but he defeated Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. I believe the first ever champ for that title anyway. And right afterwards, we found out that he had, I believe, dislocated his shoulder, or at least separated it as well. Same type of injury that we believe Karrion Kross has obtained. But Finn Balor became champion 4 years ago, SummerSlam weekend, over Rollins, and he was stripped of that title immediately. The highest point that a superstar can achieve, it should be your most successful, best celebrated night, and it becomes also your most tragic night, professionally speaking. And that was what happened with Finn Balor 4 years ago. Karrion Kross reaches the pinnacle over in NXT. He grabs the championship. He defeats somebody like Keith fucking Lee. And then he's told, probably already by now, that that title has to come back. We're going to talk all about it in this review. Top to bottom. Speaking of Finn Balor, he started the show, and Karrion Kross ended the show. We're going to talk all points in between. A ladder match that blew the Amplified Man clear across the fucking room. That was amazing for many reasons. Some not so good, but still awe-inspiring nonetheless. And of course, Dakota Kai and Io Shirai for that championship. We're going to talk about it all. And for Karrion Kross, man, we wish him nothing but the best. I can't think, professionally speaking, anything that is more tragic than reaching your pinnacle and at the same moment in time knowing that it's all going to be taken away from you. I can't even imagine, professionally speaking, reaching that pinnacle after all the hard work and it being ripped away from you. That's what it looks like. Down this coffee, and we're going to get to this review. Oh, Takeover 30. We're going to talk about it right now. All right, guys, before we kick off this Takeover 30 review, a few things that need to be addressed beforehand. Number one, first and foremost, where are my manners? Happy SummerSlam Day to all you guys. I'm sure all of us truly hope that this is going to be a good card, a good event. Enjoyable, entertaining, and captivating. Don't hold your breath. This is a Vince McMahon product, but we're hoping that anyway. It's like how we always tune in to WWE, out of habit and hope. You know, and I can't wait for the day that we're tuning in because it's just wildly exciting and entertaining. But there are matches on this SummerSlam card tonight that could absolutely captivate us. And then there's also matches that could absolutely put us to sleep. We'll see what the final presentation is. I hope to be live tomorrow morning for the review of SummerSlam 2020. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I would like to do it live with you guys. You guys love the live streams, it seems. I love doing them because I can just be even more zany than I usually am. A little bit more wild than I usually am. And you guys know in my live streams, I kind of just go off the rails. So I know I usually go really early. So in California, it's probably 4 or 5 a.m. Somewhere else in the world, it's probably late at night. But I usually go early in the morning, East Coast time. So I hope to do that. I'm just letting you guys know because a lot of you guys aren't able to catch the live stream. You have to catch it later on. And I know it's not the same necessarily. So that's what I mean when I say stay subscribed. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure they got you. Because sometimes the tube takes people off without any of us knowing. Make sure you're subscribed. And make sure that you have that little fucking bell thing that everybody talks about. Because even though it doesn't work for everybody, it is supposed to notify you when I am live. So hopefully that works. The best course of action, even if you're subscribed, notified, keep checking too. You know, throughout the morning tomorrow. Because I would like to go live. So thank you for letting me address that little programming note. Number two, I want to address AEW. A lot of people ask it, BC, you're not watching AEW, man. You gotta watch AEW. And then after NXT went off there, BC, you missed a great night of AEW. I'm catching it, guys. I have everything. You're talking to the amplified man. No stone is being left unturned. AEW was a really good show last night. And that finish, and Brody Lee becoming champion, and the way he did it, squash manner. He squashed Cody. And then afterwards, they took out Arn Anderson. Cody's on a stretcher, and Brody still flipped the stretcher. And then he whacks Cody in the dome piece with the old title, the old TNT title plates. At first, we didn't know what it was. It was in a black bag. And then afterwards, he dumps it on Cody. And he goes, that's yours, the old bullshit title. And he says, this is mine. And he holds up that new TNT championship. Brody Lee taking his place where he should be. Brody Lee is a bona fide fucking superstar. Somebody like the old man in Stamford, Connecticut didn't realize that, or he did and just didn't give a shit, and he threw him to the wayside. Well, guess what? Somebody else's trash is somebody else's gold. At least AEW sees true talent. They took Brody Lee, they dusted him off, and now he's a fucking champion. Rightfully so. And he should have been in Vince McMahon's organization. I couldn't be more happy for Brody Lee. I loved my boy Cody. You guys know I'm so high on Cody. Even when he was fucking Stardust in WWE. I love Cody. And I loved the way that went off. I love the squash format that they kind of went with. I love him being on the stretcher. I love the stretcher being flipped. The Wabaka and the dome piece with the old title. I just love everything about this end segment. They added in Arn Anderson. Brandy tried to protect Cody, but Brandy got taken out via choke. And the Dark Order looking like a legit fucking... Listen, what I saw last night, I'll take Dark Order over Retribution any fucking day. But I couldn't have been more proud of AEW. On one hand, I just watched something phenomenal. On the other hand, I wish they saved that. I truly do, guys. That was worthy of being on an actual, first of all, a pay-per-view. I would like to see that at All Out. That type of segment and that title change. That should have been reserved for a pay-per-view. At the very least, Wednesday Dynamite. They decided to do it on Saturday where they knew they were taking on TakeOver because they wanted those talking points. The next morning, they wanted us to talk about that, not just TakeOver. And guess what? It's working. Here on my review, we're talking about that before we get into the actual review. But, viewer-wise, it could have been so much more bigger. Sometimes in business, you just got to take an L. It's TakeOver. You're on a Saturday. You're taking off of your normal Wednesday time slot. You're on a Saturday. You're going against TakeOver. Your hardcore diehards will follow you. Most of them anyway. A lot of them are still going to watch TakeOver because it's fucking TakeOver. But you're going to get some viewership. You're not going to pull a ton of casuals, and you're not going to do it in that type of segment anyway. It's not like they know who fucking Brody is and shit. So I would have had it just wait until you're back on Wednesday night if you're not going to do it at a pay-per-view. Take the fucking L. It's TakeOver. Most of the community is going to watch, or at least the journalists, the critics, all of that type of shit, right? They're going to watch TakeOver because it's TakeOver. It's the 30th anniversary, so to speak. That's where the focus is going to be. So you're just taking eyeballs away from your product. Sure, you can have a talking point, but a lot of people are not going to be able to go back and watch that Cody Brody Lee. The whole episode, actually, of AEW was really good. I thought put together and pieced together beautifully. But a lot of people weren't able to see it and are not going to go back to see it. Or they're just going to catch highlights on YouTube or something. That's my issue. Man, if that was at Dynamite or something, and I know there's going to be people that are going, no, because of TakeOver BC, they wanted to compete. Punch them in the mouth. I respect that, and that's why I said at one hand, it's good. On the other hand, I would have waited. Take the fucking L, because you have to eat the L anyway, no matter what happened at AEW last night. You could have LeBron James tag team with Michael Jordan. The focus of the wrestling world is going to be on NXT's TakeOver. That's the point. Something like that for AEW and Cody and Brody was so beautifully done. So masterfully done. Damn near perfection. And it was stuffed away on a random Saturday night show. Head to head with TakeOver. So yeah, it pisses me off because it's too good. That's what happened with AEW last night. It was too fucking good that a lot of people didn't get to watch it. BC, that's the point. Now they're watching future episodes because they know not to miss it. No, it doesn't work like that. Moments like what you saw last night with Cody and Brody, they just don't happen many times in pro wrestling. Not even with your precious AEW. It doesn't happen. Those moments are gold. When they strike, you hope that it was on a big platform. It wasn't last night. That's what pisses me off. AEW was too good last night. They should have just competed, grabbed the L, and then fucking move on and whoop that ass. But in business, every successful business person will tell you this. You gotta know when to take your L's. You're not gonna win every fucking battle. You're not. You're gonna try to compete and use up all your resources, and it's going to be a failing attempt at times. And you're gonna wish you didn't do certain things. That was too beautiful. I wish that was back on Wednesday. I really wish they saved it for the pay-per-view. Anyway, thank you for allowing me to get those household items in order, guys, and those announcements. I hope to go live for SummerSlam's review tomorrow, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And yes, guys, relax. I caught AEW. It was all phenomenal, but perhaps too phenomenal for the slot and night that it was on and what it was going against. Now, should we get to the NXT review, TakeOver 30? Oh, that was one other thing I had to address, guys. Yesterday's SmackDown review. It was in 2 parts. I didn't want to do that. The tube would not let me upload a 45-ish minute video. I don't know why. I've uploaded much longer in the past, but it was giving me issues yesterday. I hope it is not doing that today. If this vid just cuts out, I'm not going to do any post-edit. I'm not going to be fancy. If this cuts out, be on the lookout. I need another coffee. Be on the lookout for part 2 of the NXT review for TakeOver. I'll have that up and hopefully within a few hours. But if this video cuts out at any time, I will have the second part up on the channel coming up. And I apologize. It's not letting me upload the full video. I have to chop it. And it's got to be split into two. I hope that doesn't happen. But if I cut out, be on the lookout for a part 2. Thank you. Now we can move on. Right out of the gate, I was bummed there was no Mauro Ranallo for NXT Takeover 30. And their 30th anniversary, if you will. He deserved to be there. It's just not NXT without his voice, I feel. And it didn't feel the same throughout the whole night. I mean, it was a great night of action, but without Mauro, man, it didn't give that NXT vibe from the jump, and that is a huge detriment to the show. Find a way, I don't care how, that you have Mauro Ranallo on these shows. I don't care if he's at home fucking doing the broadcast. I watch my Yankees, there's a guy, Paul O'Neill, he's a commentator. He does it from home. I think he's in fucking Kansas or some shit. I don't know, one of those kind of obscure kind of states in the middle of the country. He's there, man. And he does the games from there. You could do it. It's just, I bet you they didn't want Mauro Ranallo. For some reason, Mauro Ranallo is too fucking good. And when you're too good at your job, WWE doesn't like that. And NXT is starting to follow suit with the main roster in WWE, and it's annoying as fuck. You find a way to get Mauro there. If it's something that he just had previous, it's a Mauro thing, then all right. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Either way, it wasn't the same without him. First match on the main card was Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher. This match was thrown together last minute just to get Balor on the card. That's pretty fucking obvious. And don't get me wrong, this was a good matchup. Over 15 minutes in length and competitive AF. I'm just not sold on Thatcher yet. That's the truth. I'm not invested into this dude enough for a near 20-minute battle. When I think of an opening match to get me pumped, to get me amplified for the night of action ahead, Tim Thatcher is not what I think of. But again, good match. Absolutely. I just didn't care about it. We're talking NXT TakeOver 30. We're talking about a card that only has 5 matches to begin with. We're talking about the first match of the night to get me going. I need a little bit more than just a good match. I need something that's pumping that adrenaline and the amplification is flowing. Like that ladder match that we saw. You put that at the beginning and we know we got a night ahead of us. That's fucking solid. But yeah, I just didn't care about this match. And I honestly feel that this win, because Balor did defeat Tim Thatcher, I honestly think that this win for Finn Balor did nothing for Finn Balor. It did nothing for Balor. We still think of Balor as not achieving anything in NXT. For the past over a month now, he's been trying to just get an opportunity at the mid-card title, but he lost that initial ladder match. Then he lost what was called a second chance match. And he lost the second chance match. And all of this was just to get an opportunity at their mid-card title, the North American strap. And he couldn't win any of that. So then he gets a consolation prize. He gets Tim Thatcher at TakeOver 30. He wins, and nobody cares. Let's be honest. Ladder match for the North American title, the aforementioned ladder match that I would have liked to have seen start the night off. This was for the North American title. Damian Priest taking on Johnny Gargano, taking on Bronson Reed, taking on Cameron Grimes, taking on the Velveteen Dream. How do I describe this match? It was fun, wild, insane, scary, captivating. You name it. This match had it all, and it was all. This match had my jaw dropped numerous times throughout. Candice LeRae was a damn near MVP candidate in this match. And she's not even in the match. But Candice LeRae got involved to try to help her husband Johnny Gargano, and in the process, she took some nasty fucking bumps. At one point, she does this hurricanrana, top rope, onto a dude on the apron, onto several dudes on the outside floor. Yeah, Candice LeRae fucking stole a moment of her own during this match. And then there was a moment where Johnny Gargano, maybe he's on a ladder or some shit, but Bronson Reed is way up on a much taller ladder, and he's up near the top. Candice LeRae tries to jump on Bronson Reed to try to stop him from splashing Johnny Gargano below. And Bronson's like, all right, I'm still gonna fucking do it. And Bronson leaps from the top of the ladder, or damn near close to the top of the ladder, with LeRae on his back. They both go flying, splashing onto Gargano. LeRae fucking bounces off of Bronson Reed like a basketball on a gym floor. Comes just dropping to the outside mat. I mean, this was some really good shit, man, by Candice LeRae. She went out there and said, hey, if I'm going to be involved, let's rock. And she was a trooper, a gamer, and a champion out there. She doesn't have any gold, but she looked like a fucking champ the way she was like, a team player, let's just, whatever you need me to do, I will take the fucking bumps. That was an awesome splash spot with Bronson Reed, Candice, and Johnny Gargano. Velveteen Dream at one point went flying. He was up in like toward the middle of the ladder. The ladder got tipped. His foot bounces off the top rope, and he gets catapulted. He gets fucking catapulted to who knows where. He started in the Performance Center, and I'm pretty sure he wound it up at the Thunderdome. Right, Vince? The Thunderdome. Velveteen Dream was launched from the Performance Center, or the NXT Arena is what they're calling it, and I'm pretty sure he wound up at the fucking Thunderdome in Orlando. I mean, he just got catapulted. When the second camera tried to show where he got launched to, where he went through, he was already out of the picture. There was a smashed table, so you draw the conclusion that he got catapulted into the crowd area and through a table. But I didn't actually see him it would happen so fast, and he got launched so fucking viciously. He was already through the table by the time the second camera could really pick it up. Velveteen Dream, man, wow. Cameron Grimes, also an MVP candidate. And Cameron Grimes, in this match, took one nasty fucking bump after another. You talk about a gamer. You talk about a champion without a title. Cameron Grimes is showing us more and more every fucking week. And Cameron Grimes took a nasty sunset flip from Gargano. Gargano was on one ladder. Grimes was on another ladder trying to get to the title. Gargano just says, fuck it. He flips himself, fucking 180 style, into a sunset flip position. Grabs Grimes. Powerbomb, obviously. Sunset flip. It's a fucking reverted powerbomb. Grimes misses the ladder that was set up below, and he clips the side of it with his spine, man. It looked bad. It looked nasty. It was cringeworthy. You looked away. You saw the ref attending to him. You were hoping he was good. Luckily, he's a fucking gamer. Cameron Grimes showed us what he is made out of last night, man. He was one of the highlights as well. Everybody in this match. And I think I talked about everybody but one person. And obviously he stole some fucking headlines. And that's Damian Priest. Because when it was all said and done, that sumbitch got his ass up to the top. And he retrieved that championship. It was him and Gargano. Gargano got smacked with the fucking title. Couple wabakas. And Gargano falls to the ground. Or to the canvas, and Damian Priest grabs that championship. I couldn't be more proud of Damian Priest. I don't know if that's where I would have went with it, but it makes sense, and you can do a lot with it going forward. I just think talent-wise, Damian Priest, I'm talking skill and talent, Damian Priest obviously is not going to be my first choice. Character-wise, and the things that this can set up, I'm down with it. So, even though it wasn't my first choice, man, I can definitely see that you can do a lot with it. And the match itself, I mean, I would not be surprised if people are calling that match of the night. Me included. I mean, we're going to go over the rest, and before I really make my decision, I don't know, I just want to weigh out every match, but I don't see how... That ladder match was just so much fun. And again, there was messy spots, sloppiness at times, there was botches, no doubt, but when you put the overall presentation together and you know what they were going for, and you see how hard they fought and how much they busted their ass, and when the finished product was said and done, that was some entertaining shit. Hour number 2 of the event started with the third match of the night. This is Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole, baby! Pat McAfee was great at playing up those heel vibes last night. He was calling for timeouts. He was taking water breaks like this is the NFL. You know, get some more heat, man. I love that. And Pat also showcased his sheer athleticism. Pat McAfee was in there doing moonsaults. He's just looking like he's been wrestling for 10 fucking years. At times, he's trying to look like Grand Metalik in there. So he showcased his athleticism as well, not just those heel vibes. And Pat also did the right thing and did the job to Adam Cole last night. Following a Panama Sunrise, Adam Cole defeated Pat McAfee, and all is right in the world. Some people on the interweb machine were acting like this is the worst possible situation that Cole could have been placed in. I'm over here like, chill the fuck! Let it happen! I got no problem with this! It could be good, like I told you guys all last week. This week, I should say. Not saying it was going to be, I can't tell the future, but it could be good from what I'm seeing, from what I'm gauging. This deserves the benefit of the doubt. It could be good, and when it was all said and done, guess what? It was good. We all can agree that was actually a good match. It was fun. Everybody shit on it. Everybody panned it. It shouldn't be happening. Cole deserves better. Cole deserves more. It was fun. You have two really good friends. In real life, I hate to spoil this for you and break down the fourth wall. Cole and Pat McAfee are really good friends. They just wanted to work together. Does Cole not deserve to have some fun with his buddy? Cole doesn't have to be in a championship match every fucking takeover. This was good. And everything that needed to happen happened. Pat McAfee entertained you. He had some skill in there, some athleticism for sure. He wasn't just a fucking kicker like in the NFL. And he did the job to Cole. This is what everybody was afraid of. He's not going to do the job. Vince is never going to have him do the job. And Triple H follows in suit and follows in line with Vince. So he's never going to lose. Triple H won't allow that. He lost. Calm the fuck sometimes. Sometimes as a community, we just want to shit and bash everything just because that's what we do. Hey, let's hate on it all. Brand new concept, let's shit on it. And we don't even have justifiable reasons. Not saying all the time, trust me. Sometimes new concepts come up and we have justifiable reasons right from the get-go why it's going to be trash. But this was something that was getting panned and I wasn't quite sure why. A couple times I gauged you guys. I asked you guys, like, are you guys cool with this or what, man? Like, I was kind of on the fence. I wasn't seeing the hatred that people had for this. Anyway, it's just amazing. It's amazing. All the bitching, the moaning, and complaining. When it was all said and done, people are talking about how good it is, you know? And that's... I told you guys... this whole week, I wouldn't be shocked if it was good. Because I knew. I just fucking knew. Who would have thought? The Amplified Man knows what the fuck he's talking about. I don't know how I got thousands of people to fucking subscribe and thousands of people to watch these vids. Oh, wait, yeah, I do. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just the entertaining guy on YouTube. And that's why people watch me, although I'm sure, yeah, I'm fucking entertaining and people watch me. Most of the time, if you're watching Raw and SmackDown, I'm more entertaining than the show. But I like to believe that people watch me for my fucking knowledge, too. Match number 4. That slot was giving to my gals, man. And that's Io Shirai, the champion, taking on Dakota Kai, the challenger for that NXT Women's Championship title. First half of this match, Io seemed off her game, at least. This wasn't the Io that I'm used to, not the performance that I'm used to. Second half of the match, Io was in full throttle champion mode and looking like said champion. Dakota brought that attitude and fierceness throughout, though. So, as this match went minute by minute on, these two just whooped one another's ass. It was physical. It became a war. And I loved every fucking second of it. You know, it took about 5, 6, 7 minutes to really get into the groove. But once they did, man, damn did they gel. Both were stubborn and both refusing to give up. Kai inadvertently kicks the ref's dome piece off his shoulders late in this thing. Raquel interferes, but Shirai is able to survive the pin attempt. And following consecutive moonsaults, one from Io jumps to the top. Didn't even second guess it. Didn't look at where Raquel and Dakota were on the outside. Or she did at first when she was running, obviously, because she's a consummate professional. But once she jumped up onto the rope, she never looked back. You see a lot of people that deliver moonsaults. They look back. They're kind of uneasy. They're not too sure. Their confidence is a little shook. They want to keep looking back, making sure they're going to hit the spot. Io just catapulted to the top, never looked again, and just dive bomb moonsaults onto Raquel and Dakota Kai and nails it. Stuck the fucking landing. Well, not on her feet, but she nailed her target anyway. It was beautiful. And then she got in the ring. She delivers another moonsault to Kai, and that was it. Io Shirai keeps her championship. And I think that's the right way to go. And you guys know I love Dakota Kai. But Io, you have to keep building her up. Because what happened to Keith Lee last night could have easily happened to Io. Io just gets the title recently, and it's just to transition it to somebody else. Even though I love Dakota Kai, there's times and places for it. That's not the time, that's not the place. Io needs to keep that championship. It has to be much bigger down the line when she loses that. So I don't know what we do with Dakota from here, but she's so good that no matter what they give her, she's going to turn it to gold. So I'm not worried yet for Dakota Kai in her future. Unless Vince McMahon gets his hands on her. But seriously, I think that's the right way to go, guys. And the match itself, wow. The first 5 minutes, I was like, oh no, this match is bombing, man. That sucks. I really had high hopes for it. And then after 5-6 minutes, I was like, there it is. There's Io. There's Dakota, man. And they delivered, dude. So that was really cool to see as well. We go into the third hour in this event with the fifth match on the main card anyway. Again, we don't do any pre-show matches in these reviews. And the fifth match of the night on this main card was the main event for the NXT title. Champion Keith Lee taking on challenger Karrion Kross. This is like a school bus colliding with a Mack truck. Kross is the bus and Lee is the truck. And the result is an earth-rattling collision. Much like Shirai and Kai from earlier in the night, Lee and Kross refused to give in. And the finish to this one legit shocked the Amplified Man. I firmly believed Lee would find a way to walk out with that title, but after a suplex from the second rope, Karrion Kross became the new NXT champion. Wow. Just like that, Lee's 1 month reign is over. I really thought he'd be champion for a long time, but just over 1 month. Come on, bro. And you say, oh, but how do you book Karrion, BC? You book him fine. You book him in a way that doesn't make him look weak, and he saves face. And you can catapult his booking immediately, starting this Wednesday. But he doesn't have to get the championship. Same thing I said with The Fiend Bray Wyatt. Okay, he doesn't have to walk out a champion back in Hell in all of those matches. But if you're going to book him like a fucking week, dude, just a regular common individual, if you're going to book him so badly that it's going to be hard to recover from, then that is a disservice and disjustice to the man himself. In this case, Karrion Kross, it would have been. Lance Archer, you could say, for AEW, The Fiend for WWE. You know, there's certain characters that, yeah, they don't need a championship as long as you book them properly. But if you book them like a bum or a common individual, yeah, that's going to hurt them. I don't think Lance Archer got hurt too much dropping that from Cody. Now that I see how they're booking him right now, and I'm loving his backstage segments, and I think he's still a monster, no harm, no foul with Cody keeping that championship. How The Fiend was booked with Seth Rollins was treacherous. Goldberg is a whole nother area of tragedy. But let's just stick with Seth Rollins and The Fiend. That's not how you book somebody who doesn't need a title. And this is one of those situations where Karrion Kross, this early anyway, didn't need a championship. As long as you book him properly, you keep the title on Keith Lee. That's obvious. Keith Lee only had the title for 1 month. You don't want a big boy like Keith Lee to be a transitional champ. You don't want that. So it's crazy because you know how much I like Karrion Kross. So you're like, wow, it sounds like you don't like this idea, BC. I'm 50-50. I'm split at the idea that you would take the title off of Keith Lee. And on the other hand, I'm so happy for Karrion Kross because I know how hard he fought. How hard it was to get to that point. Man, 1 month for Keith Lee? Seems like he was just getting it. And that's because he did just get it. Last month. I don't like when titles just do that, guys. I don't. Call me old school. I know a lot of you guys are okay. Oh, BC, it's okay because Karrion Kross needs it more. Karrion needs this more than Keith, BC. It's going to be harder to get Karrion over, BC, if he doesn't have the... No, bullshit. You're lying to yourself or you just literally don't know what you're talking about. If you give me the pen and paper and you tell me I need to book Keith Lee and Karrion Kross, Keith Lee has to come out champion, but Kross needs to look dominant. Sit back and watch what I give you. It's going to be entertaining as fuck. And both men are going to look awesome. Much better than 5-year-old booking too, where Keith Lee wins and then Karrion Kross beats him up afterwards. No, I'm not talking that little 5-year-old bullshit. I'm going to give you something entertaining and fun. So it was just weird to me. But you know what? In the end, it was all for naught anyway. This goes to show you. If the title was just on Keith Lee, we don't have a situation. Guess what? Now we have a situation. Karrion wins that championship. Moments later, Triple H goes on a conference call and says Karrion Kross is injured. Massive injury. We're hearing a separated shoulder. Mind you of Finn Balor 4 years ago at SummerSlam when he won the Universal title and it was immediately stripped from him. We hope nothing but the best for Karrion Kross. This is just a tragic sitch. You reach the pinnacle of your profession, or at least one of them, and it ends up being a shitty night as well because that title is going right back. And now what do? Do we do a fucking stupid tournament? I hate tournaments in pro wrestling. You know it's pre-planned from day one, so then we gotta wait a month, maybe 2 months for this whole bullshit circus to fucking go through, and at the end, some suit and tie pick to be champion is going to become champion. And watch it just go back to fucking Keith Lee when it's all said and done anyway. So all of this was just to take the title off of Keith Lee for 1 month, or in 1 month, a 1-month title reign, and then in a month later, he gets it back. And all of this was just a fucking sideshow. But let's go through a bullshit wrestling tournament like it's the NBA or the MLB. Tournaments in wrestling annoy me because they take up so much time, and it's just like this. Whoever was supposed to win was planned out a month ago. We're all playing a circus like this is a legit tournament, like we're really gonna see who the best wrestler is. No, wrestling is planned. It's predetermined. It's tournaments fucking take away from any whatever. I know there's some people that love tournaments out there. Yeah, we get to see the best wrestler, basically. Yeah. That's what we get to see. Or if you're in WWE, I remember Shane McMahon won the best wrestler in the world tournament once. So how are you going to see the best wrestler? It could always end in a schmaz because it's predetermined a month beforehand. I don't know how they're going to crown a new champ, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be some bullshit fucking tournament shit. And I gotta sit through a fucking month of tournament matches. I have to keep, I don't have enough to keep track of in my fucking life. Now I gotta keep track of a tournament. In closing, you know it was a great night of wrestling when Lee and Kross is number 3 on my favorite match of the night list. Because I have the ladder match at number 1. I have Kai and Shirai at number 2, actually. And I have McAfee and Cole right there with Lee and Kross, just behind at number 4. And of course, Finn Balor and Timothy Thatcher is a distant 5th. But my match of the night was that ladder match. Kross and Lee was really good, but that's how good this takeover was. I have it right in the middle at number 3, man, because I like Kai and Shirai's interaction even more so. So a really good night of NXT. It doesn't have the same feel of old school NXTs for many reasons. It's a totally different NXT today. A lot of it I don't like, to be honest, but at least I liked last night. And number 2, because of this Wabaka, and they're in this arena with really no fans, just some developmental talent. Because of all that, it just doesn't feel like it was NXT TakeOver. You don't have more Ronaldo. So there's a lot of reasons why people were kind of disengaged, but when you look at the action, that was a fucking awesome night. Even Timothy Thatcher and Balor, which I was not fond of at all, still a good match. So that's TakeOver, guys. Tonight's SummerSlam. I hope to be with you guys tomorrow live in the morning, Eastern time anyway, here in the States, for SummerSlam, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Again, live stream. I hope. If it's not live, hey, I'm still going to give you guys a badass good, the bad, and the ugly. Kick the rest of this weekend's ass. Hopefully we all enjoy SummerSlam tonight. I'll see you guys in the morning. Nothing but the best, man. We hope the best for Karrion Kross, dude. Tragic situation. We hope that all gets resolved. We hope that it's not a separated shoulder, but it's not looking good. I'll talk to you guys in the morning.